Have you ever walked away from a relationship feeling just completely drained, broken, like you don't even know which way is up anymore? And then, to make it worse, people just tell you, oh, you're just being too sensitive. Well, what if they're completely wrong? Today, we're diving into the brilliant work of PhD Faye K, specifically her piece, Break Destructive Realities. We're going to look at the actual systemic architecture of an empath's energy. Listen, this isn't just about hurt feelings. This is about understanding your literal energetic framework.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because looking at this, you can almost feel that heavy, crushing weight, right? It perfectly captures that physical and psychic pain you might be carrying right now. But here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. Your pain is not a weakness. No way. What you're actually experiencing is a violent clash between your internal truth and a toxic, counterfeit reality that a predator is trying to force onto you. It's not weakness. It is quite literally a systemic overload of a massive electromagnetic circuit. Your system is crashing, but only because it's being force-fed corrupted data.
So think of today as your personal technical manual, a roadmap to guide you out of the void and back into your sovereign power. We'll be covering the open source code, the empath's blind spots, the predator's hack, the alchemy of rebirth, and finally, recalibrating your reality. All right, let's get into it.
Section 1. The open source code. Let's look at why exactly you hurt so deeply. It's actually because your system is incredibly advanced, like a high-frequency radar operating at maximum range. You know, society loves to label empaths as having a thin skin. But Faye K points out that this completely misunderstands how you're built. Like I said, your sensitivity is actually a high-frequency radar. You don't just hear words, you pick up on vibrations, hidden motives, the whole shebang. And because your radar is that finely tuned, you become highly susceptible to something called existential dissonance. So when a manipulator lies to you, your nervous system physically reacts to the lie. It's this brutal, violent clash between your true north, which is actual grounded reality, and the twisted, fake matrix they are projecting. This dissonance, it feels like a literal short circuit in your central energy flows. It leaves you feeling totally, devastatingly fragmented.
And this quote right here just hits the nail on the head. Faye K writes, "What you experience is not just hurt feelings or human resentment. It is a systemic overload of a massive electromagnetic circuit." I mean, wow, think about that. That completely strips away the shame of feeling like a victim, doesn't it? You aren't emotionally weak. Actually, your highly advanced technological system just experienced a critical crash because it was placed in a deeply hostile environment.
Moving on to Section 2, the empath's blind spots. Let's get a bit analytical here and look at these systemic vulnerabilities.
So, you might be wondering, if my system is so advanced, how the heck does it get hacked in the first place? Well, predators don't attack your strengths. They go straight for your blind spots. Basically, the bugs in your code that you haven't yet turned into features. First up is the savior illusion. This is where you see someone's hidden potential, their ideal matrix, and you totally drain your own massive energy reserves trying to pull them up to that level. Next is weaponized responsibility. Because you are naturally an architect of reality, you subconsciously take the blame for the destructive choices other people make. You think, well, if this relationship is broken, I guess I just didn't try hard enough to fix it. And finally, we have energetic permeability. Now, energetic permeability means you're walking around with your borders wide open in what Faye K calls download mode. It's literally like walking through a crowd of hackers with your phone's Bluetooth unlocked and unprotected. You have to realize something absolutely crucial here. Predators do not generate their own life force. They just don't have it. To survive, they have to plug into your emotional reservoir. And when you're stuck in download mode, you're essentially letting them freely dump all their fears, their insecurities, and their toxic shame right into your virtual space.
Which brings us to Section 3, the predator's hack. This is exactly how the system gets infiltrated. Once they've managed to plug into your reservoir, the drain instantly begins. And this brilliantly illustrates that process. See how those heavy, dark vines are encroaching on the pure, vibrant space? That represents a foreign, toxic construct being violently implanted right into your clean energy field. The predator is essentially forcing you to digest their own internal rot. Let's methodically break down how they pull off this hack in 3 stages. Step 1 is the injection of chaos. They use gaslighting, like declaring their undying love one minute and completely devaluing you the next. They do this to break your internal compass and make you doubt your own sanity. Then comes Step 2, the karmic dump.
While you're completely disoriented from the gaslighting, they just offload their own emotional garbage, their guilt, their pain, straight into your energy field. And that leads to step 3, the void. You absolutely exhaust yourself trying to find some sort of logic in their abuse. Ultimately, your electromagnetic torus field just collapses entirely, dropping you into this terrible state of living death.
But here's the good news. Section 4, the alchemy of rebirth. It is time to execute a radical internal revolution.
Listen to me, you do not have to stay in that void. But to get out, you have to face a really hard truth. You absolutely cannot negotiate with a predator. You cannot love them into being healthy. It just doesn't work. You have to, metaphorically, kill the internal victim. That version of you that acts as an unappreciated battery, constantly draining your own energy to fix broken people. Instead, you need to awaken the architect. The architect is a sovereign creator. They take that immense, incredible attention and turn it entirely inward to build their own reality.
So how do we do this? Here is the 4-step secret escape protocol. Step 1 is point 0. Become the uninvested witness. You have to stop trying to fix the abuser. Just allow your nervous system to process the crash without judging yourself and watch the illusions burn away. Step 2 is ethereal surgery, where you sever that energetic parasite. Step 3 is the system reboot. This is where you ignite your central upward and downward energy flows to fill all that newly emptied space. And finally, step 4, recalibrating the torus field to completely reclaim your colossal power.
Let's zoom in on step 2 for a second, ethereal surgery. You have to understand that the pain you're feeling right now, it's not yours. It is a foreign object. So in your mind's eye, you need to create these powerful ethereal hands. Grab hold of that toxic, parasitic mass and just rip it out. Then, use the fierce hot current of your own upward energy flow, that system reboot we talked about, to incinerate it into ash and cast it deep into the void. This is exactly what it feels like when you sever that parasite and flood that empty space with your own sovereign power and crystal clear mental focus. And finally, Section 5, recalibrating your reality. This is the ultimate triumphant shift into what Faye K calls the alchemy path. The predator tried so hard to convince you that you were weak, right? But think about this for a second. The very fact that they were able to feed on you for so long is actual proof of your colossal, untamed power. I mean, you were sustaining 2 lives. The real rebirth happens the exact second you realize this and fiercely declare, the immense energy I wasted managing their madness now belongs solely to me. Boom! In that exact moment, the vault is permanently closed to them. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it captures your new, impenetrable boundary. You are officially done healing people who never even asked for a cure. You absolutely refuse to host anyone else's distorted matrix. Instead, you take all that pure, one-directional energy and you start constructing your own autonomous reality. It perfectly illustrates that vibrant, self-sustaining architecture you are now building for yourself.
And here's the best part. In this new reality, predators simply cannot breathe. You don't just survive the system crash, you completely ascend. You elevate your torus field to a frequency they can never, ever reach. Just look at this magnificent expansion. This is what your untamed, limitless power looks like when it is fully liberated and entirely yours.
You are the architect now. Those old bugs in your code? They've been transformed into your absolute greatest features. Your high-frequency radar's clear. Your energy flows are fiercely protected, and you are completely sovereign. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Now that your pure, massive energy belongs solely to you, what kind of sovereign reality will you choose to architect?